Okay, I have to redo the video on the installation. My bad. So the external drive kept crashing on me. So I asked Grok. The most common cause for crashes corruption when running a Bitcoin node, core or not, on an external drive like the T7 is the file system. The T7 usually comes pre-formatted as exFAT. Great for cross-platform Mac Windows use, but exFAT is not reliable for the heavy, random, read-write patterns of Bitcoin nodes, chain state, level DB database, and frequent block operations. This often leads to apparent corruption, crashes, restarts, database open failures, or the node getting stuck, hung. So sorry about that. The issue is well documented in Bitcoin Core's GitHub issues. All right, so for best stability and performance on Linux, most common for nodes, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to use NTFS, works on Windows, Linux. If you're on a Mac OS, APFS. So this may not be the best way to do it. I've been doing it this way for years. I did forget to format this external drive. So let's see if we can plug it in. And I think they said just to right click on it. So let's see. I'm going to redo the whole video. So let me plug it into the USB. And let's see. It's in here without. All right. So let's go to the file system. All right, now, see, well, let's go to this PC. Now, I right click, and it should say format. There we go. I feel so bad about this. Now, file system. So we're going to do this. Look, it says default, but for some reason, and it said to do quick format. It said it works best. Warning, formatting will erase. That's fine, because we're going to start all over. It was crashing so many times, so let's see what happens. Wow, that was pretty easy. Okay. Wow. Liking it. I'm going to right-click, do my folder. You can call it whatever you want. I'm going to call it Bitcoin. I don't know if that's smart to do. And what we did last time, let me minimize this, is, and I think we can X out of here. Wow. This went a lot smaller. If we go explore, this is how I did it last time. I'm going to put in Bitcoin nuts. And this should be there, blah, blah, blah. Let's follow these guys. All right, now. Yeah, here we go. Let's do that. Download. And I'm doing Windows. Bam. And look at that. What's going on here? I think I have to override it. Report this file as safe. Damn. Keep. Damn. That was weird. All right. This is like been cursed. All right, let's do this quick. Here's the main thing. I want to put this on the external drive. So this PC. Oh, let's collapse this. All right, let's open this up. I'm going to choose the folder. All right, there we go. And install it. All right. Next, finish. And it's already in, what's this, F drive? Okay, it's already in my Bitcoin here. Sometimes I change that as well, but it defaulted to the external drive here. In this case, it's F. It could be something different. I'm leaving everything else the way it is. Look at this. Now it runs peers and so forth, so we have to allow it to do certain things. This is a redone of the other video, so I'll say again. The software that we're running, which you can see here, does not like to be interrupted. Oh, so I'm just going to minimize this. I had previously, if you go to your settings, I choose hibernate. You don't want the computer to shut down when it's inactive for a period of time. That could corrupt and interfere with the software. You may have to start over again, delete your files and start all over again. So you want hibernate never. So you see, make my device sleep after, and I say never. Make my device hibernate after, and I said never. Okay. And so I should have done that first. I knew. So you should do that. All right, we go back. Now when you shut down knots using the X up here in the upper right, a pop-up window will appear and it'll say something to the effect, do not turn off your computer till this window disappears. I'm going to show that to you and you'll see what I'm talking about. Let's get at least a couple blocks. Let's get this synced and a couple blocks going, and I'll shut it down and show you what I'm talking about. And I should point it out. It started at January 3rd, Saturday, 2009, which is the start of Bitcoin. So it looks like we got a couple days started. You see, it's going to take 36 years, but that number will, as you see, it's going down once it gets going. It may have to run it overnight for a couple nights. I like to run it overnight a couple nights every week, maybe 2 or 3 nights, not consecutively, just so I can relay information. Presumably that's filtering out the spam. So that's why we're here, basically. All right, let me shut this down to show you the pop-up window. You see it right here. Let me get rid of this. Oh, well, it disappeared on its own. So it's pretty quick. So now we can turn off our computer. Let me start it up again. Let me show you how to start it up. So we go into the folder, and here's the icon, Bitcoin QT. I'm going to presume it's the same in OS Mac environment. Maybe I'll just... Okay. So there we go. Now I want to show you this down here. These are really close together, but I think if you click, in the middle one, you see Show Peers tab. I just want to show you this. You can see, I wish I knew more about this, but Looks like someone's running Core 30 here. I'm not sure. Um, even though, so sometimes you'll see a knots here. Anyways, network traffic. This is what I like to see. You see down here, receive sent. So I like to, for sent, I like to send a certain amount of data because all that data that I am sending is filtered. So now I'm downloading loading the blockchain, so I'm not really filtering anything at the moment until I catch up. But also here we have console. This is useful sometimes for importing cold wallets or paper wallets, or there's a whole bunch of things you can do here. And information. So you can see the version. Yeah. All right. Now this is its own separate window. So if I X out here, it's not going to shut down the software. Also, you can see settings is here. Options. Now this is its own beast, and perhaps at some point we can become familiar with this. See spam filtering. I'm leaving it on defaults because I don't know what I'm doing. So X out of there. Okay, you saw that. I like to send data, receive data, send data. I like to send a certain amount of data. I might let this run overnight a couple nights a week, if not longer. I assume when I'm sending data, that data is being filtered. Create wallet. We can send money, maybe just small amounts to here, maybe from Coinbase or Gemini, rather than put in cold storage, loose change, I might say. You can see the folders put here. It's a DAT file, which I believe stands for data. You can always import this file into another instance of the coin knots running. You can see on this computer keeps doing this. I don't think it does it for most computers. All right, so here's the wallet. Request payment, gives you a QR code. You could copy that and put it into Coinbase, for instance, if you wanted to send stuff to your wallet.